Hi there, BookTube! My name is Christina and I'm late to the party. What's new here? Here I am with my mid-year freak-out book tag, something like that. I totally got wrong the title. Mid-year book freak-out tag was the correct one. And this is a very popular tag here on BookTube. I'm late to it, I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to join the fun. And I discovered that it's quite useful if you want to go through all of your reads that you've done in the first part of the year and just to analyze it a little bit more in depth to decide what you liked, what you've not enjoyed that much. Well, I have to say, first of all, even if we're past the half of the year, I've only read 33 books, and being my goal to read 100, I'm not doing very well, but we will see what will happen. And let's get right into the questions. The first question is, best book so far? And for me, it was Daisy Jones and the Six. I wasn't expecting it. I never read anything by this author before, so I've not read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn, and it was a surprise. I've listened to this book as an audiobook, and I absolutely recommend you to listen to this book because it's such a great experience. It has a full cast. The book is written as an interview, so if you're listening to it, you're actually listening to the best version of it because it was planned to be like a spoken conversation, and it adds to it so much, and the cast is great and the voices are lovely, and at the end of the book you actually may hear the music for some of the songs that they are discussing during the story and the interview. And yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six was the one that really surprised me, and I loved it so much. It was a great experience. It's so far from my usual genre, and it's set in the 70s. It's about a music band, so I would have never imagined to enjoy it so much, but I loved it and I recommend it to everyone. Everyone may enjoy it if you love music, if you don't love music, if you love the 70s music, if you, I don't know, love contemporaries or historical books, or just give it a try. I think that you will like it too. The second is best sequel so far, and I've not read that many sequels to be completely true with you, but I have one, and it's the sequel for the manga Yona, La Principessa Scarlatta, so the Scarlet Princess, I believe, and it's a manga, and I'm still going on with this series. I'm planning to buy others for my birthday, and yeah, I'm going on with it. I really am enjoying this series. It's a fantasy, it's lovely, and I'm still waiting to watch the anime. I will go a little bit more into depth with the manga and then I will watch the anime, because usually the anime is much quicker and you risk to spoil yourself, so I will first read. The third one is new release you haven't yet but you want to read, and for me it's Descendant of Crane, and again I think that I will buy it myself for my birthday because first of all the cover is the thing that really drew me in, and then it's set in Asia, it's a fantasy, and I hope that I will love it. It was very much hyped at the beginning of the year, but now, as it happens mostly all of the times, I've heard nothing about it, so I'm planning to read it and actually make a review of it, because I'm hoping to like it. The fourth one is most anticipated release in the second half of the year, and for me it's Spin the Dawn and Pumpkin Hats. These are the two titles that really got my attention, and I hope to read them. Maybe not this year, maybe in the future, but they are coming out in the second part of the year. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment, and my biggest disappointment is the first or the second book that I read this year, so it was extra disappointing. and I'm planning to unhaul this book because I don't want to have nothing to do with it, and it's 13 modi di vedere una ragazza grassa by Mona Awad, and in English it was 13 ways of looking at a fat girl. And I was hoping for something empowering, something dealing with body positivity and how to appreciate yourself. Well, this has nothing to do with it. It has a beautiful, amazing cover. I love it. This illustration is just so a bit creepy and beautiful, but the content is horrible in my opinion. This has an absolutely unlikable protagonist and an absolutely unlikable secondary characters, and everything is so bad and not empowering, and it just makes you sad and angry, and it's not healthy. If you're not feeling in a good position with yourself, if you're not feeling healthy or beautiful, then this just drags you down, and this is not something that I will ever recommend to anyone. So for me, this is a no, even because it wasn't clear to me while I was reading this book what was the intention of the author. If she was describing all of these horrible situations with a satirical point of view, if it was done to make fun of the main protagonist, if it was done to make you reflect on how the things that you were reading about are wrong, and so that you will feel the need to do something different in your life. I don't know. It wasn't clear, and when it's not clear, it's potentially harmful. So I'm not a fan of this book. Number 6 is Your Biggest Surprise, and for me it was Binti, the short novella, and I loved it so much. First of all, I'm not a huge short stories, novellas reader. Usually I don't enjoy them that much, but this one was likable. It was surprising for me because it's sci-fi, and again, I don't know that much about that genre. I'm more a fantasy kind of reader, but I really enjoyed it. The only issue that I have with it was that actually I enjoyed it that much that I wish that there was more. I read the second one and the third one, and still I hope that it was more like a book with more details, because it was worth it. But it was a surprise, a pleasant one. Number 7 is Favorite New Author, and for this one I will go with Laini Taylor. I've read Strange the Dreamer as a buddy read with Dear Reverie. He's here on BookTube. She was Le Petit Photographe, and now she changed the name of her channel, so if you're searching for her, it changed. And I just discovered that if this is the way in which Laini Taylor writes everything, and I believe it's so, because the first time I encountered this author, it was in a short story collection, and I fell in love with her story. I just love so much the way in which she uses English. It's so lyrical and beautiful, and being like someone who studied languages, I really enjoy reading books that are slow but with a very beautiful language. So that's the reason why I'm telling that Laini Taylor is probably my next favorite author. I will read the sequel, I will read the first trilogy that she wrote, and I hope to read much more by her, because I'm loving her way of writing. For number 8 and number 9, unfortunately I had the same answer, and the first one is Your Newest Fictional Crush, and the second one is Your Newest Favorite Character, and unfortunately I have to say no one for both. Well, for the first one, it's very difficult that I have a fictional crush. I usually feel quite detached from the love interest of a protagonist in a book, and it's very rare that I feel connected to the love interest. And for a favorite character, I tried to think about it, but no one really stood out, so I decided to answer no one instead of searching for someone at all costs. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and here again I had nothing, because it's really hard to make me cry while I'm reading, but I decided to go with a different strong emotion, and it's scared. And I was so scared while I was listening to Sleeping Giants. I was listening to the audiobook. I was in the underground and I was with my headphones and I was just mindlessly listening to the book, and then at a certain point, I won't spoil anything about it, there was a scream. And it was so loud and long and unexpected that I literally jumped on my seat and everyone stared at me, and it was awkward, but I was so scared to hear someone screaming in my ears. I won't tell you why, but it was unexpected. I was surprised and I was scared. 11 is a book that made you happy, and for this one I will go with Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, because this book really made me smile, it made me happy, it made me think about the days when I was reading Harry Potter. It was just lovely. 12 is most beautiful book this year, and as far as the cover is concerned, I will probably go with The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry, just because this cover is so full of details, and you may, if you watch at the girls who are portrayed here, you really understand so much about their character just from watching at them and looking at them, and the poison and the dead body and the font, everything works nicely together. And I appreciated even the inside of the book, because you have, as I probably showed you during my review, you have the portraits of all of the girls. They are lovely, and I just love this book. It was funny and cute. It's a murder mystery. It's set in Victorian era, so something a little bit different, and I love the cover. And the last question is what books you need to read by the end of the year. And I don't have the exact list of books that I want to read, but I will probably soon film a video about sequels that I'm planning to read during this second half of the year, and I will go with that as an answer. So wait for that video, it will come soon for sure. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you think about my answers, if you've read any of the books that I've read, and if you think that there are some other titles that I might have just insert in this video, or what were your answers to this video. And if you had this tag filmed, then please link it down below, because I will be so curious to watch it. And I hope so much that you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye! Ciao!